The biggest mistake I see performance marketers doing is using AI tools like a toy. If you're a performance marketer and you use AI tools like ChatGPT just for copywriting, you're wasting the technology. And that's why in this video, I'm going to show you 7 things I do almost every day with these AI tools and that make me at least 5x more productive. The first one is simple, creative production acceleration. Because I'm a content creator, I create thumbnails with ChatGPT. Now before, what used to happen is I would brainstorm for hours and hours. Then I would try to explain it to the designer. And then the designer would work for a day or two to give me 2 different options or 2 different variations of the thumbnail. And sometimes it used to be so irrelevant to the brief I gave him because there was a misunderstanding. Now with AI, it takes me an average of 20 minutes to come up with an idea and to give me 3 different variations of the thumbnail. The design quality and the design finish is much better than any of the designers I have worked with. It saves me a lot of money and time, to be honest. In our own house campaigns for Senator Veeran Ads membership program, the best performing creative in the last month is actually created by Gemini. It gave us 8 different variations of the same this month to test again. And all of this was done within 5 minutes. We do not completely hand over everything to AI, but it makes a huge difference than starting from a blank page and starting with an initial idea from these AI tools. It gives you a lot of momentum and that saves a lot of time. The second one is super simple, but I just mentioned it here because it saves me a lot of time, which is communication automation. There are a lot of automations I implemented in Gemini in Google. The first one is I asked Gemini, analyze all my emails and tell me everyone ever who has been facing issues with YouTube subscription, what are the issues and what are the common solutions? It analyzed all my emails and came up with like 5-point solution. And then I created an automation. I didn't create it. I asked it to create. Anytime somebody sends an email, use a decision. If this email is related somehow to YouTube subscription, if it is, use this template and send it to the person. Similarly, we did it for other issues as well. Any learners who come to us with any kind of issues, their certificates, profiles, password reset, we asked Gemini to come up with an FAQ, and anytime it thinks that this email is related to a specific issue, it sends an email right away. So we are talking about at least 20 to 30 emails every week automated and responded by Gmail. Okay, here's an interesting one. We can only charge VAT within UAE because our company is registered in UAE. So any sales that came from UAE, we had to literally add it to our particular sheet, which we will send it to the accountant for the VAT purposes and the invoice number and etc. We just created an automation in Gmail. Anytime there is a sale, because we get an sale email at help@Senator Veeran Ads, we said download the invoice, download these, get these 5 parameters from there, add a column to this sheet and add all these details. It used to be half a person's job as well. This was automated within 2 minutes. And this leads us to our third one, which is sales intelligence. See, we have this DWI program where we basically provide consulting to our clients. It's a very unique agency offering program. Okay, nobody else is probably doing it. We used to get a lot of leads and the salespeople would go on to pitch to them the services and sometimes close and sometimes don't. Because it's a new product, and for new products, the sales calls are the best research you will get when it comes to your offering and clarity, right? Those are the people you will see some repetitive concerns, repetitive questions, and that will tell you that there is an issue with the clarity of your offer, or it's expensive, or common objections or issues that the clients might have about your product. I ideated this product and I was not able to jump on all the sales calls. So what we did is all the sales calls, we record it and we record the transcripts and we feed it back to our Gemini and ask it, okay, what do you think are the common objections and issues, and what do you think, how can we improve the sales call? How can we improve the offer? Even sales deck. I'll show you how our sales deck used to look before and with the repetitive feedback from Gemini where we have reached now. I've seen a lot of people saying that the salespeople are not good because we are not able to close. In a lot of cases, it's not the salespeople, it's the offering or the clarity or the packaging. But how do you know? That is what Gemini decides for us, and we are seeing some very great results. Honestly, you'll be amazed to see like how deep analysis Gemini does to 30 calls all at once, and it gives me a snapshot of what was common in 15 calls, what needs to be changed, and the rationale it gives us. And it's incredible. Like, this is one of my favorite things Gemini is doing for us. By the way, apart from all these 7 use cases we are going to discuss in this video, there is much more you can do with ChatGPT. And that's why I highly recommend this ebook called 5 Essential Resources for Using ChatGPT at Work. And you can download it completely free from the link in the description below. So it's a bundle basically which contains 5 different resources. The first one is ChatGPT Decision Flowchart. This flowchart can be like a litmus test whether ChatGPT can and shall be used to do a particular task. The second one is template for setting clear guidelines in ChatGPT. The third one is the AI generated content refinement checklist, which you can use to elevate your AI generated content to the next level. The fourth one is the AI adoption checklist. It helps you to make the most of AI capabilities and bring efficiency to your work process. And my favorite is the fifth one, which is guide to using ChatGPT at work. With this ebook, you gain valuable insights and learn practical tips and tricks for maximizing productivity and with 100 plus ready to use and customizable prompts. This kind of an all you need package to use ChatGPT at your work. And this resource was created by HubSpot Media, who's also sponsoring this video. And which leads us to our next point, which is creative brainstorming. Because we are performance marketers, we recently, most of our job used to be numbers and analysis and technical tools, etc. Creative sometimes gives us a creative block. If you give me a client and tell me, okay, provide some angles and provide an offer idea or provide some creative pillars for this client. Sometimes it will take me 20 minutes to give you 5. Another client, I'll think for days and nothing. And that's where these AI tools solve the problem. As I told you in the first point, it gives you momentum, it gives you first draft, which is maybe 40% good, but then it gives you sparks where you start ideas and you're like, oh, this is not good, but I know what good is now. This can be a good offer. This can be a good creative pillar. So AI is helping you to escape this blank page syndrome, which is a big problem when it comes to creative work. Before, when we used to work on creative pillars and angles and etc. for a client, now we would go, okay, list down all the aspirations of your prospect clients, list down all the pain points of your prospect client. And then once you will bring Yugin's hierarchy in the picture, like stage of the customer, and then mix it, create combinations, then it used to be very difficult, right? Difficult and time consuming. It will take 3 days for a creative strategist or copywriter to come up with hooks for all these combinations. With AI, it's super easy. That's why I said one-man agency is not a dream anymore. Like, it's quite possible. You go, okay, based on Yugin's hierarchy, this is the client, these are the pain points, or you come up with the pain points and you come up with the aspirations. What are the different, can you give me the list of the angles we can use for each of these combinations? And within 2 minutes, you will have it. And this leads us to our next one, which is client intelligence repository. And this is a brilliant idea. Now for this one, we just use Notebook LM for now. So what we have done is for every client, we create a new notebook. So we feed all the data into the notebook, starting from the onboarding document, then the onboarding call, even the sales call, recording and transcription, and then all the other consulting calls we have with them. We feed all the data here, their website, all the details they provide, their reports, etc. We put all that in our Notebook LM, and then we brainstorm within that. The account manager goes, okay, this is what's happening. Can you give me what was happening before? Can you give me this milestone? What did we test? What did we not test? And even a lot of project management comes from here. It looks like a simple idea, but trust me, once you do it, it's an amazing thing to do. Now, last week, we had a new team member. We added him a client. He went to the Notebook LM and he is like, create me an introduction video. It gave him a small video. I don't know, maybe 10, 12 minutes. And it gave him all the snapshot of the account. It was such a brilliant thing. I was like, wow. And when we started doing these Notebook for each client, that's when I understood that what do people mean when they say the more deeper the context, the more stronger and the sharper the AI gets. And it's so true. This leads us to our next point, which is AI audits and researches. This one is pretty straightforward, but let me give you an idea. For example, we have some clients where all the strategy, their whole strategy and research was just done by Manus. And it took like 15 minutes and it was a brilliant strategy. Like in old days, 2 years or 3 years ago, it used to be 1 week's work from a senior strategist and researcher and one junior in his team. So they will do the research, put together, and it wouldn't be as good as this one, to be honest. But now we have been doing all the research, all the whole strategy with just Manus. And once you have 90% research done, creating a strategy isn't a big issue. And to be honest, now the skill is not to blindly accept the output and choose what goes into the strategy. That's the only thing we do now, but rest all of it is done with these tools. And this leads us to our next point, which is kind of, I'm not sure how many of you have been in leadership roles, so I don't know if you would understand the meaning of this, but this is probably one of the craziest things I use AI for, which is to create SOPs, frameworks, custom contracts, and digital products. Now, let me give you an idea. For example, as I told you, we have this Done With You program, which is like a consulting program. ChatGPT gave me everything about it, like the main framework, the initial sales deck draft, the engagement protocols for the team. So basically everything, like all the documents needed to launch a new product from our agency. This is the framework, right? It gives the whole architecture and framework of this program and consulting and how to drive this. All the templates we use within this consulting program, it was given by these tools. Now, I'm not sure how many of you know about Organization OS, which is like the operating system of your organization, which explains everything. So acts as a Bible for your organization. And as well as if you're new people joining, they can just go through it to understand everything about your organization. And in old days, I know there are consulting firms, big companies consult them, and they charge a lot of money for this. Our business at a glance, and then it'll show you like what is our marketing look like, and then it'll show you the products like DWY, everything about DWY. All the digital products we sell on our website, I fed them all to ChatGPT and I said improve them. And the improvement was insane. One thing I understood is when you use these AI tools, you need to be context rich. You need to have some knowledge. You need to have a very good starting point. You need to have a very good prompt. That's when you will see the magic. Or you need to use them as a starting point and then use your knowledge to add finish to that work. This combination of expertise with AI tools is what basically shows the magic. Let me know in the comments how you use AI tool. What is the best use case for you? But that's all for this video. Thank you so much, and I will see you in the next one.